And here we are back, and here we have the 3-on-2 handicap bunkhouse match. As you can see, all 4 participants, well, all 5, with the exception of the human pair, Jim Cornette. Tommy Rogers, a dropkick with those cowboy boots on, all dressed in, you would say, bunkhouse attire, not the typical ring gear. Nice hip lock takeover by Tommy Rogers of the Fantastics. And in comes Bobby Fulton. Double hip lock takeover. And Bobby Eaton fights back with that right hand on Bobby Fulton, but a nice counter by Bobby Fulton with a kind of a jaw jacker and a nice swinging head scissor takeover. Flying fist drop there by Bobby Fulton, one half of the reigning U.S. Tag Team Champions, Irish Whip-In, and a drop kick by Fulton. Going down for the pin. And a kick out. Stereo leaps over the top ropes collectively and respectively by Sweet Stan and Tommy Rogers. A nice counter arm drag takeover by Beautiful Bobby of the Midnight Express. And Bobby Eaton tagging in Jim Cornette, who always has rather odd-looking wrestling attire on, especially in this particular match. Bobby Fulton now with Jim Cornette, and an atomic drop. Fist drop there by Bobby Fulton. I'm sure the Midnight Express is, well, I don't know if they're absolutely ruining the day they decided to let Cornette compete in this match, but certainly the Fantastics are looking for revenge after all the embarrassing things that have happened to them since they arrived on the scene back in March. We're talking about the whipping they took by the belt, especially Bobby Fulton at the Clash of the Champions back in March. Attacks on Superstation TBS in the studio when Bobby Fulton was trying on that straitjacket. Midnight Express out of nowhere glommed him over the head with a steel chair. So much has gone on between these two teams, and the guy you see there at the black and red padded up suit looking like the Michelin Man, he's at the head of it all. And I'm sure the Fantastics would love to win this match at the expense of the erstwhile manager James E. Cornette. Nice reversal by Jim Cornette. Tommy Rogers obviously got the better of that. And it would be the Fantastics' strategy to keep Cornette in the ring, double teamed into a running clothesline by Bobby Fulton. I'm sure Jim Cornette is having flashbacks of his day at falling off the scaffold with the Road Warriors back in '86. Oh, and there's Sweet Stan with a cheap shot into the midsection of Bobby Fulton. But he goes right back after Cornette. Tommy Rogers calling Cornette out of the corner. He wants him out there. Looks like Sweet Stan wants a tag. I think Jim Cornette's asleep on his feet. And now Tommy Rogers peppering Jim Cornette with those right hands. You know, some people out there might feel sorry for this guy being left in the ring. Well, I'll tell you what. You know, he's the guy that started all this. He's the guy that took the belt to Bobby Fulton. He's the guy that orchestrated all this attack on the Fantastics, and that was a nice counter. And Sweet Stan's tagged in now. But Tommy Rogers hops right back over the top rope. Monkey flip out of the corner, and Sweet Stan lands on his feet. Rogers now into the corner, and now the Fantastics. Again, we talked about the Rock and Roll Express. Well, the Fantastics are indeed tag team specialists. Down for the cover. And Cornette again, interfering on behalf of his team. High cross body by Bobby Fulton this time. But no. Sweet Stan kicked out immediately, and Bobby Fulton now. No, he's right back in. He thought better of it. And a swinging head scissor beautifully executed by Bobby Fulton. Oh, and he rakes the eyes. It looked like maybe he's going for a belly-to-belly suplex. Sweet Stan rakes the eyes and nails him with a roundhouse kick. Takes Fulton right off his feet. Stan Lane now. Man with the educated feet, as has been termed. And a beautifully executed side Russian leg sweep. That's easy for me to say. Although after watching all this wrestling for all these years, you'd think I'd have it pretty well under control verbally, but anyway. Looks like a double axe handle there by Bobby Fulton, who has a Great American Bash t-shirt on. Then again, so does Bobby Eaton. That's another story, just mere aesthetics. Stan Lane now with Bobby Fulton. And now they're tagging Cornette back in again. You got to be kidding me. The rocket launcher? No way. No way. No way. Oh, right. I can't believe that. I can't believe it. He actually pulled it off. But they threw Cornette down on top of him. Drop kick by Tommy Rogers. Bobby Fulton, you figure, Cornette. I know it's only Jim Cornette, but when you're being thrown down from that high, I mean, that'll take the breath out of him. It certainly did for Fulton. At least it did for a moment. Irish whip into the corner. Let's see if the Fantastics can get this thing over. Irish whip, and this time it is Rogers with the running clothesline. Cornette in a bad way. He was on top of the world when he was part of that rocket launcher. Tommy Rogers with a big splash on Jim Cornette. And Bobby Eaton breaks up the pin. Tommy Rogers with a very poorly executed. Looked like he was trying for a neck snap, but Cornette was getting up at that exact moment. Cornette. And now it is Tommy Rogers fighting back. Modified rocket launcher here. Yes, sirree. And we have a winner.